I can't let you listen anymore because I'll get yelled at. I'll just let you know, Still Point has some new tunes coming out, and holy crap, they have went next level. Like, graduated. I don't know what happened. They've always been great. But man, I can't even give you the name of the song, but there's a song that they do that's so freaking good. It basically is a montage of some of the best rock and roll songs that you've heard and love. And they basically meld it into a 4.5, 5-minute song. And Brandon just rips the guitar solos. It's amazing. Plus, stay tuned for a new commercial from Still Point. They cut it today. So Still Point's doing some good things. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Got a good show tonight. How many times can I say show in just a few seconds? Nick Freitas does it again. Department of Education. Donald Trump sends a executive order. It says no more. Lincoln Project is anything but. Assassin's Creed is Greedo. And Shapiro needs to stop simping so hard. I'll see you in 3 minutes. Welcome back to my YouTube people. Sorry about last night. It wasn't me. It was you. It was YouTube. So we're here. It's just me. Leroy's sick tonight. Olivia needs a night off. So I am going to be rocking and rolling. Talk to you in a few.
So confused, you feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. But just step right in, we can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up on the facts. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's stuff.
You guys can do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe. Twitter people, if you could do me a favor, get a whole bunch of people on, I would greatly appreciate it. And let's get the word out. Thank you.
Hello everyone, good morning. Brandon from Still Point. Just wanted to give you guys an update on everything going on. Give a big hell yeah to Matt Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me Show. The Barry Morgenstein photo shoot. There's Leroy. Look at him, looking great. Olivia looking stunning as always. Look at there, baby. Rocking the lid. Barry has done photo shoots with kings, presidents, the Pope, rock and roll royalty, Jimi Hendrix. Come on now. It's so awesome that our music is finally catching on after all this time. And you know we're going to always keep on rocking in the free world, baby. Make sure you tune in to the Don't Unfriend Me Show every weeknight at 7 p.m. EST. The new stuff is dropping on all platforms very soon. We got it uploaded now, but we're getting on the Spotify playlist. You know how you have to do that. So be on the lookout for that. Go download it. Go support Still Point. And go support the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Matt, Leroy, Olivia, Amy, we love you guys. Ethan, baby, we love you. And we will see you all soon. We're getting everything ready. And it's going to be badass. We'll see you on the stage soon. Keep on rocking in the free world.
Just This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Good to have you here. Matthew Spear going solo tonight. So we had a really cool offer from one of our listeners to do a, I don't know, kind of a telethon style show where we would have, I don't know, some sort of special broadcast, whether it be, you know, have a bunch of people on who we thought you would like to hear from, or do a certain topic that you would enjoy to listen to, and all that type of stuff. And we're not quite sure what we're going to do. We're starting to work with the idea. By the way, Barry will be here. Barry Morgenstein is going to be here for Friday, March 28th, which will be exciting. So 8 days from now, he'll be on live, and then we'll do a recorded show too, and kind of pick his brain and talk about all the people he's had a chance to photograph. And he's a good dude. You'll love the conversation. We had plenty of good conversations while we were there doing the photo shoot. So, but we were thinking of a bunch of things. We're like, okay, possibly, and just to tell you what the offer was, is one of our listeners, and let's call him Chuck. His job or really challenge to us, is to do a job of bringing that show together in an effective way that would bring in a ton of viewers. Can't talk tonight. And what he'll do is the donations, which are, you know, between $300 and $500 a night usually, which is amazing, wants to kind of stretch that to clip it to $10,000 and find a way to do a show where we can raise $10,000, and he will match it up to $10,000. And I think his goal is to have the show reach a level that it could use that money to invest into whatever we see the future of the company being and going to. And we had a really good idea. The first one was, you know, use maybe a series of guests to do a live show with high personality profile people. And of course, that costs money to do so. Fly people out, put them up in a hotel, get them a car, get them out here, give them a per diem, and then sit them in front of the show, and then pay them an amount for that. So, you know, possibly doing that. And then it was interesting because we also were thinking of doing a offsite location to be able to have people come in and do more interviews, and building or renting a place. And we realized that although both are cool, we could do both. And we have a great room that's about 25 feet wide or long and about 15 feet wide, and it's plenty of room. It's 3 times the size of this room. And we've used it for piano and art and stuff, but we can put 2 barn doors on there and then turn that into a studio, have a audio and video station, so we can bring a tech in to record the shows and run the videos and stuff like that, run the donations. And that would be an intern hire that we could do. And we could soundproof it, make sure we have a table there where multiple cameras are taking images of, whoever's there. And we could do it for a good price and do both. So anyway, that's coming up in the future. And I wanted to give you guys a quick update on that, of what's been going on. So there's an update there. Leroy's sick tonight. He's out, but he'll be back hopefully on next Tuesday. I know we enjoy having him on the show. And Livia's off tonight, so is Amy. So it's just you and I, and that's okay. Those are some of the best shows. I'll mention it once because I've realized something. The donation thing gets exhausting. And I get so sick and tired of talking about it. So I'm just going to say it one time. Show goal tonight is $300. And if you would like to make a donation to the show, which keeps us going, keeps us on, it's thedumbshow.com/donate. And we really hope you do, because without you, we don't stay on the air. So there it is. It is free of charge. If you want to watch, don't feel guilty. If you can't do it, don't apologize. We don't need that. it should feel good to give. That's pretty much it. Mel says she's free. Mel, I would have you move in with me in a heartbeat. If you want to leave Canada and come here, we would give you a place to, you could live in one of our rooms. Would love to. There's no question, not even a sliver of a doubt that I would take you up on that. You think that you're doing us a favor, you'd be doing us a favor. You think you're doing, yeah, whatever. You got my point. All right. So, good show tonight. There's me mentioning the donations. And honestly, I'll just be honest, it's wearing on me. I'm just constantly talking about it, and it's just taking over the show. It sucks. If we hit it, we hit it. If we don't, we don't. Last night, it was a real stretch to get there. And Maddie Howanitz came in and gave us $25 right when the show turned off, and we hit our 300. But I just find that it's too much. So, there it is. So we'll just rock and roll and do our show and go from there. So here's the thing. I need you guys to share and like. That's the one thing I need you to do, because if we don't do that, we don't grow. Twitter's getting killed right now. So Mel, if you wouldn't mind helping us out, we need some viewers. All right. So let's rock and roll. Let's make it happen. We've got a good show. Like I said, a whole bunch of information coming at you pretty damn fast. If you didn't hear the intro, we're talking about Nick Freitas, who is a friend of the show. Who doesn't know he's a friend of the show? He is a representative in Virginia who we just absolutely adore, and we'll kind of start there. You may have heard that the Department of Education, Donald Trump has signed an executive order essentially not disassembling the DOE, but doing what it should be, which is the 10th Amendment to reserve powers to the states. Now, a point that I'm pretty confident Nick Freitas will make, and I haven't seen his video, but I just know the guy, and it's pretty safe to say that we're going to make the same point on this, is that when you look at what the Democrats have done with the Department of Education, they have weaponized it to indoctrinate our kids through teachings, but more importantly, allowing revisionist history to come in an effort to unwhitewash the truth. And the problem with that is that I am all for Black history. I'm all for Brown history and Irish history and Chinese history and anyone else who contributed to the United States and American history. It's fine. But what we shouldn't do is subjugate the truth to a racial filter in an effort to make people feel included. Because let's be honest, that's not the way it was. In fact, we're going to talk about that tonight with a video game series called Assassin's Creed, which has been around for a long time. And one of the greatest things about it was its historical accuracy and how it borrowed from history to create these amazing video games. Now has a black samurai in Japan, which there were, and a female secondary lead samurai, which there were, but there's a twist, and we'll talk about that. But when we take a look at specifically the Department of Education, the DOE doesn't do anything. It's kind of like having a Department of Transportation at the federal level instead of having Transportation Secretary, but having an entire department which essentially just oversees what the states are already doing. Now, the Department of Education and its responsibilities at the federal level are a complete waste of time, but antithetical to what the 10th Amendment says. The reserve powers of the states. The states are responsible for education. The states receive their funding from the federal government based on attendance and test scores and things to that effect. But why is the federal government necessary to do all those things when the states can do that? The state's education board can do that. The governor can do that. The state treasury can assure that monies are handed out to the schools and the districts that overall need it, and find where the best place to spend that money would be, not necessarily what the best test scores are or who has the best attendance. Because as we know, with No Child Left Behind, we became a not a meritocracy, but everybody crosses the finish line. You have people who are graduating with honors in high school who struggle with basic reading. But with the days of computers and ChatGPT and AI, the ways of cheating and getting through under the radar are different than what they once were. It's more complicated. It's more difficult. So how do we ensure that the states have access to education, which they want, but it's not necessarily based on population or the largest cities or who has the most struggles in the inner cities? The state should prioritize that. And the state should be responsible because ultimately they are. They're responsible for transportation and infrastructure. They're responsible for jobs and creating jobs and removing regulation in order for third-party businesses and small businesses to thrive in their state. It's their job to drive energy prices down. It's their job to work across tri-state levels and as far as roadways and bridges and everything else to ensure that commerce is easily navigated throughout their states. All of these things are the state's responsibility. So why is the federal government involved? Why should they? C-Hag, hello. Wonderful to see you. It's nice to see a comment on X. I'm a C-Dad, I guess, not a C-Hag. Hag is usually reserved for the female persuasion, so I'll just say C-Dad. So this is something that is pretty damn clear, is the left has infiltrated the educational system. And how they do that is with federal bureaucracy. And with the assistance of the school unions, they have a monopoly on education in the states. And the states want to break free private schools. They want to have charter schools. They want to use vouchers. They want to open up new busing programs. Maybe what they want to do is relieve taxes on families who want to homeschool their children. What's up, Richard? So the only way to do that is to eliminate the Board of Education, or at least the stranglehold that they have, and break it into smaller parts where these individual federal bureaucracies can be individual, which means less power, less authority, less responsibility, from a singular bureaucracy, which oversees everything and puts the thumb on the states. So this can stop politicization of monies going to California, even though a lot of California school issues has to do with California itself, which is taking money from West Virginia and Kentucky and Louisiana and Mississippi and other poorly educated states because they simply don't have the population. They simply don't have the pull. They simply don't have the numbers to keep up with these larger schools. And that's why the federal government and this bureaucracy needs to end. But more importantly, the feedback that we're receiving that Republicans want to just eliminate everything so we can enter Christian Judeo ethics and WASP teachings of white Anglo-Saxon Protestantism and insert it into schools and to essentially abolish separation of church and state. No, that's not what we're doing. Because if we wanted to do that, we wouldn't get rid of the Department of Education. We would expand it. We would make it bigger. And we would simply just change the indoctrination practices that the left have put in and simply replace them with our own. No, what we're doing is literally hamstringing ourselves from making any major changes and empowering the states to do so. See, this is what small government looks like, but this is the lie you've been told. Oh, this is Project 2025. Just because Project 2025 wanted to do that doesn't mean that because President Trump wants to disassemble the Department of Education means that he's doing it based on Project 2025. But if a state wants to introduce education with religion, well, then that's that state's choice. Just like if they choose not to have abortions, or if they choose to go ahead and protect the kiwi ostrich at the local petting zoo, but not go ahead and replace a roadway or a bridge that's a major thoroughfare into the city for commerce and overall transportation and also vacations and travel and tourism. Well, then let them make that stupid choice. And then when they fall to 50th in education, they'll be the next West Virginia. So the lie being told by the left is that the reason why we're getting rid of the DOE is to have more power. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It limits our power. Nick Freitas, I bet you $1 billion. I haven't watched the video. I know he'll tell you this because that's just what Nick does. Before we do that, let's go ahead and kick on over to Oh, my favorite, Randy Weingarten. This lady, I have just ripped her apart over the years, and I'm not going to stop now. Randy had some things to say, boys and girls, and oh boy. Remember, this is the lady that said she wanted schools open as early as April 2020 from COVID. Now, you and I know that's not true.
High risk.
Because I remember how long my kids were here. I'm sure you did as well. Yeah, C-Hag wants people to chat with her over on Twitter. Get the hell over on Twitter and say something, will you? That's the one thing. We get hundreds of people on Twitter watching, and nobody chats. Chat. C-Hag, you're now in charge. I'll get you a couple shirts or something nice from the store if you can get people chatting and talking, okay? Would love to have you do that. But you got to get the results first. We're not Democrats. We don't go ahead and give you the money first. We're not going to pull a, Stacey Abrams, give you a few billion and expect you to do nothing. All right, so here's Weingarten. I just can't stand this chick. And I just want to bring you into the loop of what the federal government did for you during
They
COVID.
shouldn't be in school. They should be doing things remotely. Just because Donald Trump wants to take a risk with people who go to bars or beaches, those of us who have spent our life teaching kids are not going to take a risk with kids or with our members' lives.
Yes, but Subway workers, King Soopers, Target, Walmart, the people who give you your fast food, yeah, you must all risk your life. You must risk your life for that minimum wage paying job. But teachers can't, because 9 months of work is too much. Having weekends off and summers off is too much. Being protected after tenure, where you basically would have to drive a bus over children to get fired, is too much. Having no accountability whatsoever for the grades or your children's success or failure rate, too much. But you better make that frickin' Subway sandwich. And extra mayo, please. Hold the pickles. Yeah, those people need to work. But teachers? No. No. We're not going to do that. Oh, but we expect the same amount of money and funding, even more. In fact, we expect a 200% increase because now, with all this money and with the new air conditioners and laptops and security systems that we're not buying and security guards that we're not going to hire, but we're going to go ahead and justify our inflated budget of asking for more money with less kids because it's harder to teach via computer. Yeah, right.
Hybrid are really the only two ways you can reopen.
Mel, I didn't say that. I said chatting. And Mel, you're loved. Come on, you guys. Fine. Mel, you deserve a shirt. I will take care of everybody on Twitter. Message Olivia at dumbshow.com and say, Matt promised us a shirt over on Twitter because we always share the show. Okay, now all my mods are going to hit me. What about us? What about the people who donate? Well, what about me? And then I have to give away a bunch of free shit. This is, you know what? Fuck that. Nobody gets anything free. Nobody. In fact, it's ruined for everybody. C-Hag, no matter what you do, you don't get any free stuff because I can't afford to give it away to everybody. We'll figure something out.
Schools safely.
You got to delay school opening because if you don't have the mask, how are you going to be able to do this? There's a huge difference between working in Walmart and
remember, the lady said April 2020. It's August now. I mean, how long can this go? This is like the limbo. How low can you go?
in a school.
You know, even a situation like Florida, where it was pretty clear that
September. Let me make sure. April to May, May to June, June to July, July to August, August, September. That's 5 months. And if you go September to October, folks, that's 6. Just want to make sure.
should not reopen. And where Miami schools did not reopen because you had people who were courageous and who were willing to defy DeSantis's denials.
And why are they closing?
November, we even skipped October. We're in month 7. We just skipped it. We're like October, screw October. Summer solstice, never. Fall solstice, never. Equinox, ha ha ha, be damned.
Now.
Martha, they're closing now because what the city said.
It's okay. You can't afford to send to me. Hey, come on. I'm not that cheap.
And frankly, what lots of other places are also seeing is a huge skyrocketing increase.
Now
in the
you're
virus
not
surge.
listening to me.
Oh my God, Amy, really? Do I need this tonight? Really?
Telling us though,
God, take a joke.
wisest scientific move is to have children in school.
Is that they're trying to figure out a regional way of opening and closing like they did after
They
the
don't need to
Jewish
close.
holidays
That's the point.
in the
They
middle
don't
of
need to close. Is the point,
Martha.
That when you hit that,
No.
it says.
Oh, well, I should have
established-
figured that CHAG was Mel. Totally makes sense now. You're right. I can't afford to send anything in Canada, especially since all these tariffs you guys put on the UPS, even though you didn't put any on the UPS.
The teachers union over the summer, in order to reach an agreement to reopen in the first place, was a 3% threshold.
The mayor set the 3% threshold. What the teachers union did in New York City afterwards was to say, these are the safeguards that we need, and this is the testing we need.
Given that, all of these experts and scientists say that children are safer in school. It's worked across Europe. It's worked across the UK. They never closed their schools during their second spike, and now they're in recovery. They're down 10%, and the kids are not missing out on their education.
What they did in Europe and what they did in New Zealand is that they had national leadership that closed, that did masks, that actually closed the bars, that did some of those things.
Totally
What the hell are you talking about?
Given all that, they still say
This
the
is a
kids are
teacher.
safer in school.
They're connected, Martha.
The numbers rising,
They're
but the kids are
connected.
safer in school.
And so after
December.
hospitals, I think we have schools that reopen, that we can reopen
when December
elementary schools in
ends.
particularly, and schools for kids with special needs safely when we have the testing.
Members of that 25,000 strong
January.
union voted percent behind.
What is
February,
When
March.
new so
Can we hit a year? We even skipped April. We're right in May.
If 90%.
60% of them are
Ask.
Keep kids safe. We're going to keep our members safe.
In order to keep schools open.
August,
throughout the country.
You're not going
December,
You're not going
a year and a half. Crazy bitch did what? I rest my case. This is one of the reasons why we don't need Department of Education. This is one reason why we don't need teachers' unions. Because this is what they do. This is what they do. It's ridiculous. Everyone knows that COVID didn't affect kids the way it affected adults. Everyone knows that the survival rate from children was like 99.8999%. And most of it were because they had primary or secondary type illnesses that impacted them. Come on. But Jessica Tarlov, who looks really good in a pair of glasses, by the way. Sorry. Folks, it's okay for me to say Jessica Tarlov is hot. I'm sorry. She's hot. She's got that teacher vibe. Now, I don't agree with her on anything, and she would have to really stay quiet most of the time, you know? Maybe like, oh my God, Matt, you are a demigod in human form or something like that is fine. But Olivia's not here tonight, as you can tell. She should be in any minute by throwing something at me. And yes, my eyes look really, really blue right now because depending upon the color, I have refraction going on in my, or reflective properties in my eyes that change the color. You might look at the photographs. When I'm wearing the blue suit, they're super blue. But when I'm wearing the black, they've got a greenish color. And when I'm wearing any type of like pastel, they're brown. It's weird. It's weird. My eyes do weird things. But anyway, here's Jessica Tarlov. Love her tortoiseshell glasses. It's kind of just like hot for teacher, okay? Just deal with it. Here it is.
Republicans out there talking about their plan for education in America. I don't hear them talking about making sure disabled kids have access to a public education. I don't hear.
Oh, come on, Jess. Seriously? I mean, Judge, you can tell Judge is already pissed. Look at her. Look at Judge. Judge is like, I hate this woman. Like, the judge wants to snatch her heart out of her chest and just eat it. You can already tell. Greg is completely just demoralized. Of course, Jesse is man-spreading. But let's see what we can do here.
Them talking about impoverished.
Because we're against
kids.
it.
I know you are. Thank you for admitting it on such a public forum. They want to end up privatizing it. They want a voucher system, which means that kids who can't get to those schools, don't have enough money to, or frankly want to go to public schools, won't have access. And they also have all of these religious kooks, like the superintendent of Oklahoma, who wants to spend millions of dollars on Bibles for the schools, Trump Bibles, because it's all a grift. They want to make it private. They want to make them religious institutions. And that goes against what you're supposed to do in America. So does it need reform? Does it need to be made better? 100%. But
how did I know that that was going to come up? Ridiculous. Let's hear what Judge has to say. I'm telling you, Judge is pissed. I didn't even have time to process this, folks. It's 7. This was on like less than 2 hours ago. But I bet you Judge is pissed. I can already tell by her body language because I know this lady because she endorsed my show. That's how I know her. We're close personal friends.
All the Democrat politicians,
let me tell you something.
See, she's pissed. Look at, she's even over talking Jesse. She's just like, look at her. She's looking up at the sky. She can't even look at her. She just can't even look at her. She wants to pull off one of her heels and stab her with it.
Kids to private schools.
I am going to tell you. Number one, I'm ready. Number one, we are one nation under God.
Amen.
And don't make a joke about that.
Do you think there should be Trump Bibles in public schools?
Number two is the issue that the Department of Education.
Judge looks pretty good too. Just saying, little Gilfy. Like, I'm totally down with that table. But, you know, even throw Greg in the middle. Maybe even Jesse. I don't know. But Judge looks good. She's a good-looking woman. Don't care what anyone says. Gilf.
Has wasted $100 billion a year. So cut the crap.
Yeah, and highest per person, per student, cost in the world. And ranked dead last. Yeah, that's great. Good job. Woohoo. Go public schools. It's been a failure since inception.
You yourself admit they don't do any education. Now, you say that Trump is not dismantling. He's already dismantled with Doge. And let me make one thing also clear.
Yeah.
Department of Education was created by an executive order by Jimmy
Carter
as a payback to the...
Go get him, Judge!
Unions. Subsequently, Congress came in and created it, and we're going to end it the same way with an executive order dismantling it. Subsequently, finished by a decision by Congress. Now, let's be real clear. All of these issues, as it relates to Pell Grants, special needs, all that stuff is being moved to different departments within Washington. They are not being eliminated, and don't make it sound like these kids are being forgotten because they're not. But if you want to talk about no child left behind, if that's what the Democrat liberals believe in, that screwed us up, screwed our kids more than anything, because no kid left behind made sure that every kid passed. And now we've got kids who can't even read at 8th grade level because they were passed. We have a 19-year-old who graduated with honors who can't read proficiently. All of this Democrat nonsense labelism is for the birds. And let me tell you one more thing. The Constitution does not guarantee an education. It is not a federal right. It is not a federal issue.
That's correct.
It is something that, under the 10th Amendment to the Constitution, is left to the states. The state constitutions...
Looks like that Judge Janine went to Matt school. Or I went to judge school. I don't know, but either way.
Have provisions where you have a right to education. But this is something that is for parents and for educators, for teachers that we do love. We don't love Randy Weingarten and what she did to her.
If you want to tell the story, you're going to let me finish.
One metric in the billions of dollars that we gave her to open the schools to make it safe enough for her and her pals to go to open up those schools. You know what, Randy? Go back to Ukraine for the 3rd time to try to figure out what they're doing in education. And let me tell you one more thing. One more thing. These kids in China and Russia that were studying quantum physics while our kids were hiding and doing drugs and alcohol, and the kids in Norway and Denmark and Sweden. We spend more money per kid than any country in the world, and we're losing because of the Democrats. And that's the end of that.
And when I hear...
I think Judge is hotter than Jessica tonight, I'm going to say. Got to give it to Judge. She said everything right.
How dare you?
Yeah, I know. Very, very proud of her. Now, she always comes up and makes some really good points. But I got to hand it over to my buddy, Nick Freitas, who is not my buddy, and he has no idea who I am. I guarantee he knows who I am. I know he shared a meme or two of mine, but that's like saying we once drove by each other on the subway and we had a parting glance in each other's eyes. A moment. Nick is U.S. Army, decorated Green Beret, I believe, Special Forces. Great dude. Super smart dude. Leroy and I are big fans, and we'd love to have him on the show some point. But I want you to watch his body language in this video, because I did see like 15 seconds of it, and it was enough for me to pull the video. I don't know what he's going to say because I haven't seen it yet. I have a feeling I know what it is, which is that reducing the size of the DOE is a contradiction in expanding the influence of the GOP within the states. That's just the dumbest thing. I mean, that's like saying that abortion is reproductive rights. As like saying like state execution is an awesome retirement plan, or euthanasia. Assisted elderly suicide is like Shady Acres on steroids. What? Murder is reproductive care? I think somewhere in the word reproduce is to, I don't know, has something to do with populate and create, not destroy and kill, but whatever. I could be wrong. Nick Freitas, everybody. This is one of my congressmen. Damn Skippy. Here it is. But watch his eyes while he's walking in Washington, D.C. Watch him.
Just left the executive order signing to significantly reduce the Department of Education. Fantastic event. President nailed it. The big thing that's going to come from all of this is obviously a lot of people.
The definition of head on a swivel. Head on a swivel.
Claiming that this is going to negatively impact school children, especially special needs. The president addressed that. They're actually leaving all of the special needs, some of the other aspects of the department in place. They're just moving it to different departments. Because again, the overall argument here is you don't need massive bureaucracies to distribute funds. You need massive bureaucracies to do what the left has been doing with them, which is to push an ideologically driven agenda. And so, again, I've said it once, I'll say it again. If we were doing what the left is doing, we would simply take over this department and then push our ideological agenda. Instead, we're saying nobody needs to be pushing it from D.C.
Perfect.
Education, and look, I'll go a step forward. Education needs to be something that's returned ultimately to parents and communities. And I think we're one step closer to achieving that.
Fantastic. Couldn't have said it better myself, because I agree with him 120%. If we truly were looking to go ahead and impact and expand GOP influence in the school boards and in the education system, we would simply leave the DOE and replace everybody who worked there and replace them with Heritage Foundation and GOP fat cats. That's not what we've done. In fact, Donald Trump wants the Department of Education to fail completely. Because when I say fail, it's not like fail in its achievement to somehow revitalize its inability to ever do anything successful in its history, because it never has. We used to be leading in every metric when it came to STEM. Not anymore. The moment that we federalized education, it's the same old adage that one size fits all in government doesn't work. You can't give the same revenue to California, or money that you give, or tax for roadways and bridges in California that you would to Kansas. The same holds true for any type of infrastructure, any type of assistance that it receives from the government. And whether it be something like unemployment assistance due to COVID, which the states received assistance for, whether it's medical stipends or medical rewards for hospitals who were taking care of people during COVID, or alleviating some of the pressure that they have with bringing in third-party companies like FEMA or the Red Cross or DOT or whatever it would be during Thank you, Kevin. $10.80. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, sir. So whatever it is, government influence isn't the answer. The whole point of this is to allow children to be prepared for adulthood. And what they're preparing children for is to reject being an adult for as long as possible. Filling their head with pipe dreams that somehow, as long as they are about equity and inclusion and diverse, and recognize their white fragility and the fact that their penis doesn't mean that they're a man and their vagina doesn't mean that they're a woman, and doing all of these things that are antithetical to what adulthood is, like teaching home ec, because now it's sexist for women to learn how to cook and bake. If I'm not mistaken, boys were in home ec too. I saw girls in wood shop, in auto shop, in electrical shop. But we're no longer teaching kids how to be productive members of societies. We're teaching them how to be productive voters. Ideologically entrenched automatons who can follow the playbook of the Democrats, which is to control their party and to unify around one simple notion, that anything that anyone says that is contradictory to your ideological entrenchment is in fact the enemy. That conversation isn't good. That disagreement isn't healthy. That being wrong is dangerous. But being right is somehow pragmatic to success and essential to success when it's not. Some of the most successful people in the world have failed before they learned how to succeed. I'm one of them. I was fired from more jobs than I'd like to admit, but without a college, Lois, thank you so much, $21.10. Appreciate you, Lois. But without a college degree, rose up to be in a very prominent position in Apple, which is harder to get into Apple than it is to get into Harvard. With very nominal education, rose to be one of the highest rated intelligence school scores and overall ratings in the school's history. It was rewarded an additional C school because of it. Got my choice of billets wherever I wanted to go in the world. Anywhere. Didn't matter. Didn't matter if it was open or not. I got to choose anywhere I wanted to go in the world. I got the number one choice in my Intel class. Could pick wherever I wanted to go. That doesn't happen. And that's not bragging if it's true. Got a good-looking wife, good family, whatever. But none of that is because of a college education. And I think most people will tell you that I can wax intellects with just about anybody. Because just because you don't have a piece of paper doesn't mean you're not educated. Because what all these people did not realize for their 8 years and 6 years and chasing a degree and doing internships and doing all the things of running the rigmarole of doing clerkships and things to that effect to get where they wanted to be. By the time they got where they wanted to be, I was already making $125, $150, $175, $225, $250, $275, $400,000 a year, which gave me the ability to not do the things that others had to do. And I don't know what's better, make 12 to 15 years of making $100K plus, or somebody going getting their doctorate so they can make $750,000 a year. Yes, in the long term, that person is going to have an infusion of cash, which is incredible. And they're going to live a very, very high quality life. But how? At what cost? My idea was I'll go see the world. I'll go in the military. I will get a basic education. And I will expand on it with experiential learning. Maybe that's what I needed. So why can't we embrace that with children? Why can't we help people realize that college isn't the only answer? Because we're being force-fed a lie that you can be whatever you want, that you can do whatever you want. And this isn't true because you can't. You have to earn it. You have to do the things you don't want to do, so maybe one day you can do what you were meant to do. But being happy and having a perfect life is not a prerequisite for the success equation. I had a hard time waking up and going to jobs. This is the only job I enjoy waking up to. This is the only job I've ever loved. And it took me since I was 11 years old, because I started working for my dad running golf bags and golf carts at 11. I started washing dishes at Cronies at 13. Was washing schooners of 20-ounce beer glasses. That's all I could do. That's all I did. I must have washed 70 million of those things. Never broke a single one. And 15, 16, I started working at Original Cookie. Then Jack in the Box at 18. I've worked my whole life. And I started off with nothing. And I worked my fingers to the bone, and I had failures, and I got fired, and I made mistakes, and then I got some leadership capabilities, and you just did it. But in no way, shape, or form did I need a 4-year degree for any of those things, because I'll tell you what a piece of paper does for you is nothing. If you have an attitude, if you have a shitty work disposition, if you have a lack of work ethic, I don't care what that piece of paper says. Nobody's going to want to work near you. Nobody's going to work with you. And that's one thing I learned very quickly. Schools aren't always the answer. Folks, take a listen. We have $31.90 out of our goal of $300. Here you go.
The Dumb Show is built on real conversations, raw, unfiltered, and fearless. Big Tech didn't like that. Facebook pulled our funding, tried to shut us down. But for over a year, you, our incredible viewers, have kept us going. Your support, your donations, your time, it all matters. Most of you spend 10 plus hours a week with us. Compare that to Netflix, maybe 5 hours a month. We believe we're worth that time. And we hope you do too. But listen, we don't want giving to feel like a burden. We want it to feel good. So take a second to ensure you're in a good spot. If you're in a place to give, that will be amazing. If not, just liking and sharing helps more than you know. Visit thedumbshow.com/donate. Whether it's PayPal, Venmo, or Mail, every bit helps to keep us going. Dumb Nation. We appreciate you more than words can say.
Nice to have so many people on right now. 146 in the network. Out of the network, which would be Wimkin and Rumble. Probably have close to 100, 125 on there. It's nice to see almost 300 on. There were the days when we had 7 on. Donation commercial has been played. Now we're going to talk about Tom Wilson. Do you guys remember, Rick Wilson. I always wanted Tom Wilson, the hockey player for the Washington Capitals. Rick Wilson. What a putz. Listen, there are very few people that I believe deserve to be punched in the face. Rick Wilson is most assuredly one of them. He looks like a giant baby who had way too many Twinkies and can't grow a proper jail pussy on his face. If you can't grow a beard, I don't trust you. I'm sorry. Terry King's book's arriving tomorrow. It sure is. All your autographs are on there. Take a look. But if you guys don't know who Rick Wilson is, he is the founder who was a GOP Republican, a Bush Republican. And it's interesting, the circuit judge that just shot down Donald Trump in regards to removing rapists and murderers, and people who decapitated, the ones that he said were coming over, the Venezuelan gangs, the TDA gang, Tren de Aragua, and said that they have to have due process and wanted him to file questionnaires on what time the plane left, where was it over international waters at the time. Listen, I am getting sick and tired of these judges. I am all about co-op, equal branches of government. I understand. I respect it. I get it. No problem. But just because you're an opposition branch of government doesn't mean you get to usurp the power of the President of the United States, who's trying to protect our borders, which is his number one job, and that is his mandate from the people. Christina Parkansky, love her. Watch last night's show today. Thanks for the overview of the JFK files. It's my pleasure, Christina. I've got some more of that tonight for you. We're going to go after Ben Shapiro. Can the judge do that? Yes, the judge can do that, but the question is, we have to and must ask why. The judicial branch's job is not to make laws, not to enforce laws. Everyone goes, well, they are law enforcement. No, they're not. No, they're not. They don't pass the sentencing. A jury does that. Now, the judge can go ahead based upon the jury's recommendation of guilty, not guilty, and whatever, what the verdict is. But the judge doesn't decide that. That's not enforcement. The judge interprets the law and applies the law in a fair and equitable manner based upon the level of crime. That's different. When it comes to a judge, they do have the power to oversee and to recognize if something is constitutional and put a stay of execution, essentially, on a decision. But we have to ask the question, why? And it shouldn't be a singular power, because that's why we have checks and balances. So here's mode of contention with a single judge from the judiciary overriding the President of the United States. And here it is. If our entire fear is to not have one man to have all that power, and that's why we have checks and balances against the president, then why don't we have the same concerns about judges? Well, I think I read that in the Constitution somewhere, which you can get at thedumbshow.com. I don't hear people making that point. It frustrates me to no end because it's a really good point. Debbie Augustine, thank you, $20. You're the best, Debbie. It's a great point, right? If we're worried about unfettered access and dictatorial powers from one person in the presidency, then should judges have the same overreaching power just to strike down the president at their whim? Shouldn't it be a group that does that? I mean, because the Senate just can't veto a bill with one person. They can't put a cloture on something and call a vote of no confidence without having a second. They make a vote of no confidence. I second the vote of no confidence. Thank you, the esteemed senator from my fuckaville. Right? Because that's what it's about. It's not about one person having a singularity, have one power, one person. So why don't we have the circuit court judges meet and have equal representation of states make that decision in the regions? Because that's what they are. They're not a solitary state. There's no solitary state in the union when it comes to circuit or district courts. Frank Wood, $21.10. Love you, Matt. I'm 73, but I learned so much from you. Thanks, Frankie. I love you, buddy. Thank you, bud. $93 out of 300. Thank you, guys. So if we're going to sit here and say, oh, well, all that power, he's a dictator on day one. He's a Nazi. Well, what are these judges? Because everyone is like, well, wait a second, he's a George Bush judge. Did you hear what you just said? How many Bushes endorsed Trump? They endorsed KAMALA silently behind the backs, but didn't come out. But they did come out for Joe Biden. They don't like Donald Trump. The Uniparty and the Bush neocons hate Donald Trump. So, of course, a court-appointed judge from the Bush administration who Obama elevated to the circuit court, so that doesn't do you any good. Give me a break. It's politicized. We know this. Why are we pretending that judges have unrestricted powers? They're not the president. So this is where we need to have a conversation where maybe the Supreme Court needs to amend and the state's constitution needs to amend with the federal oversight from the Department of Justice to say, listen, maybe the state's attorneys does this because they're federal. Maybe the state's attorneys come in and they meet. Maybe it's New York, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Vermont, Rhode Island, sit down together and have a conversation and want to impose an injunction or a stay on Trump's executive order. Well, there you go. Now you have a board of like-minded individuals who are not usurping the power of the president, but using their duly assigned positions, not elected, assigned positions to perform their duties of checks and balances. Let the state's attorneys do it. Make them federal. They're already federal, so why not just have them be under federal? Imagine what we could get done if states' attorneys weren't corrupt and getting their pockets lined by mayors and gubernatorials, state legislatures. What if they were federally provisioned? God forbid that we actually brought a semblance of democracy to this process that we call a democracy, what it isn't. Matt, the writ of habeas corpus does apply. Yeah, but habeas corpus has been suspended before by a president. Abraham Lincoln did it. FDR did it. Do you think putting Japanese in internment camps didn't suspend habeas corpus? Hey, you're a Jap. We're going to throw you in a concentration camp, internment camp. What about habeas corpus for Native Americans? What about habeas corpus for African Americans? What about habeas corpus for Muslim Americans during 9/11? Do you tell me presidents didn't usurp the powers? What about habeas corpus for all the people we spied on? How about 332 million Americans who were all spied on due to the Patriot Act? How about the Snowden files that showed that they were creeping our Facebook, listening to our phone conversations, using our cameras and spying on people, even when we're coming out of the shower? Habeas corpus. Brian Moody, 2110. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. 11410. Get my point? And I know I'm assisting your point. Habeas corpus has been suspended plenty of times, but we don't care because it wasn't Donald Trump who did it, the great big Nazi. I have never seen the Democratic Party this stupid in my life. This is the dumbest shit. You guys are going to get your asses handed to you in 2026. The American people are going to repudiate you once again. Why? Because you have nothing. You guys are literally the short bus party. You're standing up for Tren de Aragua. You're standing up for Mexican cartel gangs. Okay. I thought George Floyd was bad. I mean, he only put a knife to a woman's stomach and bounced bad checks and had more fentanyl in him to kill Keith Richards. I thought O.J. Simpson was bad. I mean, he only freaking almost cut Nicole Brown Simpson's head off. No, he can't sue me. He's dead. Fuck him. He did do it. So if we're going to pretend that suspending habeas corpus is all of a sudden such a big thing, well, then maybe we should go through the annals of history and proactively impeach all of the presidents who've done it before them. Am I saying it's okay? You know what? I don't give a shit about Tren de Aragua. If you're a Mexican and you're illegal, or you're a South American or a Honduran or you're Venezuelan and you came in here and you have gang-affiliated tattoos, get the fuck out of our country. Put them on a plane, bag them and tag them, and get them out of here. I don't want them. Why? Because you're illegal. You already broke the law. You broke the law. Get out. Come back and apply the right way. This is not a conversation. Habeas corpus isn't. The State Department has the right to remove illegal immigrants. Fuck that. They're not immigrants. Illegals from our country. That's it. What's your name? Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez. Hey, Juan. You got an ID? No. You got a passport? Negative. You got a green card? No, Holmes. You have a visa? Work visa? Nada. Okay, motherfucker. You're out. See ya. Peace in the Middle East. Get out of my country. Oh, well, you didn't control where you were born. How is it your country? I don't give a shit. I'm here. Yeah. I could have been part of the Sacagawamba Boomba Booba tribe and basically eating maggots out of trees and thumping freaking hog holes to see if one would just come out, and by chance we might be able to hit one with a spear, even though we've missed 10,000 times. And I may well go ahead and thread my ears with bamboo shoots and use Nicka gum on my lips as just a way to get through the fucking day with my wife who has tits hanging down to her knees. Don Bradley, $12. Great show. Thanks. Maybe, but that didn't happen. I'm in the United States. I'm American. I'm here. Sorry. We want to keep it this way. And why should you have the right to destroy it? As much as you blame me for the right to covet it, well, then why do you want to destroy it? It's just the same thing. It's just the opposite sides of the yin and the yang. Your point is just as trivial as mine. If my point to covet and care and be proud of my country, and your job is to destroy it and break its traditions, we're coming from the same side, just completely different approaches on what we think is equitable. You think you should get in at all costs and break the rules. I think you should uphold them and stay the fucking line. That's it. You don't like it? I don't give a shit. Go tell the federales. We don't care. Get out of our country. Stop killing our kids. Stop raping women. Stop going ahead and having all the people who came here legally and the people who are going to come here legally that it can take up to 15 years for. Does that process suck? Yes, but that's not my fault. I want it fixed. I want a path to citizenship. Of course I do. But we don't. So until we do, suck it up, Buttercup. Get your ass in line. It's just like at the taco stand. I don't get first in line. I got to wait 30 deep in San Diego. The taco stand under the bridge. I don't get to go down there and be like, hey, excuse me, man. I'm going to go ahead and jump this fence and get here first. I'm going to get stabbed, shot, killed, and stuck under the wharf. You don't get first. Wait in line. You come here and break our rules, break our laws. I don't give a shit if they bag you, if they hog tie you. I don't care. He has labeled these people as domestic terrorists. If you did the same thing to J6, you guys didn't blink an eye, and those are Americans. You guys put them in solitary confinement for 24 hours a fucking day. You didn't give them lawyers. You guys fucking gave them bread and water for 6 months. Give me a break. And I don't have any love lost for the J6ers, but you're going to sit here and tell me that these guys who are getting sent to Venezuela were somehow physically abused? I didn't see any marks on those guys. Now, maybe the prison that they got there did. All I know is we're saving a shit ton of money per head. All I know is that to go ahead and keep these guys in prison is millions of dollars. $500,000 a head. 226 prisoners. You do the math. Or we give them to Venezuela for $6 million. I'll take that deal all day. All day. All day. My name is Jose Guacamole, Salsito, Enchilada, Tortilla, Churro, Gonzalez, but you can call me Bobby. Roberto. You're racist. Yeah, my wife's Mexican. Go fuck yourself. I have a Mexican friend. I'm not racist. I'm a pragmatist. I'm a realist. The days of having Juan and Jorge come over across the border and Jesus, and they would work quietly and get their job and hope that INS didn't pick them up until they could get a verified I-9 and work here, those days are over. Now it's about sex trafficking. Now it's about drugs. Now it's about putting mules over. Now it's about running fentanyl. Now it's about establishing cartels in the United States. When the fuck are we going to wake up? Because I will tell you what, they are nesting in every single city across America. They just found Tren de Aragua in Montana. Montana. Look what they did to the last brown people in Montana. They're there. Montana. These are the commercials where New York City, get a rope over salsa. Over salsa. They wanted to hang people. And in Montana, where they brand people on the ranches with a Yellowstone Y, take them for a train ride, where there's no Mexicans anywhere on the ranch, no Native Americans, all white people. And whenever you see a brown person on that show, where are they? They're in a trailer park. They're on the res. There ain't none on the ranch except for the wife of one of his sons, and she left him. And she wanted to go live on the res. Give me a break. Ask Montana what it's done to brown people, red people, excuse me. Close enough. Same thing. Come on. Let's go. Rick Wilson. This guy's a plow. I don't know why it does that on the camera. I'm sorry. Rick Wilson. Account suspended from Twitter. Why? Why? What did he do? Well, he did some bad things. He said, kill Tesla, save the country. Well, I mean, at least it's not fuck a kid, save the country, because that's usually his MO. Oh, no, I'm going to go into it. Kill Tesla, save a country. You know what I'm going to say? Kill a pedo, save the country. That's more apropos. But he's gone. This is the type of things he posts. 30 teenagers in the Team Wilson compound for a pre-prom party. Yep, more wine, please. Chile says, just take lots of pics. You'll get through it. Deleting them 5 years from now will be cathartic. And he says 345 so far. You know him. This is the guy with the Lincoln Project. Remember this guy? Went ahead and paid people with tiki torches because there's so many Klan racists and Nazis in America that you actually have to pay people to do it. That's how much racism we have in the United States. So much that you actually have to pay people and find them and hire actors to do it. That's how rampant racism is in our country. Ugh, the horrors. You know, this guy. Remember this guy? Here's his, listen.
And the donor class can't just sit back on the sidelines and say, oh, well, don't worry, this will all work itself out. They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump. And that's...
Oh, yeah, that's your boy. That's your boy. Yep. The GOP hack who takes money from liberals. The anti-Trump group. They have lost so much support, people won't even touch it with a red letter A. John Weaver, co-founder, had more than 20 men accuse him and boys of sexual assault and harassment in January 2021, including, like I said, a minor. Not assault, harassment. Faced bipartisan criticism with figures like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez calling it a scam pack for misusing donor funds. And if Ocasio-Cortez calls you out, you know it's true. She was a bartender. She knows about the mismanagement of money. Co-founders include George Conway, Steve Schmidt, Rick Wilson, and John Weaver, all former Republicans who are all never Trumpers. They like to pretend that they are Republicans as they believe in abortion. The group endorsed Joe Biden in April 2020. They endorsed Kamala too. Internal turmoil escalated when reports surfaced that the Lincoln Project leadership knew about Weaver's behavior as early as July 2020. Well, yeah, because you got the guy bringing in all the kids. Why would you get rid of him? He's feeding your sexual deviance. George Conway left the group in August 2020, citing family matters amid public drama and with his wife and daughter. Yeah, because he probably received pedo pics in the mail. It's time to go spend time with my family and be closer to them. Yeah, because they're going to leave you. And you're going to go to prison. And the only love you're going to feel is all 12 inches from Bubba. Group initially defended Weaver, citing his health issues before July, disavowing him in 2021. It took a year. But at the same time, Weingarten actually went ahead and still was espousing that we need to keep the schools closed for COVID. Jennifer Horn resigned in February 2021, citing the group's handling of Weaver's misconduct, while Steve Schmidt also stepped down days later. Well, it sounds like the entire board left. I wonder why. Maybe because when you're a bunch of kid diddlers, they don't want to be associated with it. Lincoln Project announced an internal review, but continued producing content despite the scandal. The fallout led to Rick Wilson being dropped from the Daily Beast podcast, furthering diminishing the group's credibility. Rick Wilson, if you have any problem, I'd love to have you on my fucking show. I will literally bounce you out of the fucking room. I've seen you debate. You're an estrogen-laden bovine on a temper tantrum. You're an emasculated gelding. You've never done a push-up in your fucking life. I take craps that are more manly than you. I have no desire to even convey with you, but I would absolutely love to have you on my show. Now, I know I'm small and insignificant, but nobody will bounce you like I will. Because there's not many people I believe deserve to be punched in the throat. You, sir, verbally deserve to be punched in the throat. You've threatened to kill the president. You've threatened to kill Elon Musk. You rile up bullshit, stupid commercials and spend millions of dollars hiring the West Wing and Sam Elliott. You turning Sam Elliott into a fag is probably one of the worst things I've ever seen you do. Matt, you're being so angry tonight. You're so frustrated. I'm not angry. I don't have my wife and Leroy and Amy to calm me down, and this is what happens on my solo shows. I just spit the truth. You turned Sam Elliott into a fag. You know, the Marlboro Man. God, love Sam Elliott. He rooted for Kamala. Give me a break. Here's the Tiki Torch incident. CNN covered it. They had a little credibility even back then, just a little bit, barely any left. I mean, this is a while back, but here it is.
Election day is Tuesday. All eyes are on the tight Virginia governor's race. And in the 11th hour, the Lincoln Project added tiki torches to the mix. But will they burn the candidate they were trying to help? On Friday, the anti-Trump group, the Lincoln Project, sent people holding tiki torches to a campaign event for the Republican candidate Glenn Youngkin. The men reportedly approached Youngkin's bus saying, "We're all in for Glenn." In a statement, the Lincoln Project said today's demonstration was our way of reminding Virginians what happened in Charlottesville 4 years ago, the Republican Party's embrace of those values. And
No, because you reported it that racist Ku Klux Klan Nazis were supporting Youngkin, and we all saw it. How do I know? Well, because we were working on the Brandon Michon campaign, and we reported it on this show. Then 24 hours later, when you got outed, and they found out it was a fucking scam and you paid people, then you sent the retraction.
Condemn it if he will denounce Trump's assertion that the Charlottesville rioters possessed very fine qualities. We'll withdraw the tiki torches. Until then, we'll be back. McAuliffe's campaign condemned the stunt, and the Virginia Democratic Party said the event was shameful and wrong. Youngkin is a political outsider.
Because when you have tiki torches and you're a racist, it's bad. But when you have tiki torches and you actually are going ahead and faking it to malign people with Nazis and KKK, it's just good politics. This is Tom Wilson. Did I say Tom Wilson? What the hell's his name? Jerry Wilson? Rick Wilson? Rick Wilson. Mr. Wilson. I can't stand this guy. And I just thought you should know. Open invitation. Love to have him on my show. We can talk anything you want. Anything you want. We can talk about your favorite director, Peter Gunn, who also had over 3,000 sexual innuendos about children and small boys. Talk about him. Maybe we can read a book together about Nabokov. We can read Lolita. Maybe we go ahead and eulogize or seance Epstein if you want to. But I'd love to have you on because there's nothing worse than asking a kid fucker the question of what benefit do you have from destroying a child's life? Allegedly. I got to cover the legal responsibility. Because let me tell you what, man, there's something I know. And here it is. Teachers hang out with teachers, cops hang out with cops, veterans hang out with veterans. Stock market guys and day traders hang out with stock market guys and day traders. Maddie Howen, it's not going to be late tonight, 11:63. Maddie, you saved the day last night. We hit our goal. Thank you, buddy. And guess what? Pedos hang out with pedos. And one of your partners was a pedo. And multiple people in your circuit were pedos. You take money from bigwig liberals. You say you're a Republican. You're not a Republican. You're a douche plow. So I'd love to ask him, what is the benefit of you having sex with a child? What do you possibly get out of that? Where do you get off fantasizing about children? And what type of person must you be to be so ineffectual at human conversation with adults that you have to prey on children in order to get your jollies off? I would have more respect for somebody who is a dog fucker or a goat fucker. Can't believe it. This guy is the new name of the Democratic Party, which is go ahead and castigate aspersions upon everyone you know, say horrible shit, threaten their lives, burn it down, say that they're doing all these things and then be doing it yourself. It's classic projection. Moving on. I don't have any more time to waste on this guy. We'll be right back.
The Dumb Store is veteran-owned with a 5-star diamond rating for service and satisfaction. We offer quality products like coffee, shirts, hoodies, and hats, all made by veterans. Shop with confidence, backed by hundreds of 5-star reviews. Use code DUMB10 to save 10%. Visit thedumbshow.com today. Thank you for your support.
Listen, I don't have a problem with Black Samurais. I didn't have a problem when Tom Cruise did The Last Samurai. It was a good movie. You know, nothing like a bunch of Japanese who are going to get slaughtered by Imperial Japan to have a white short guy save them. Go get him, Tom. It's a great movie. I loved it. I love Shogun. One of my favorite TV series of all time when I was younger. Shogun. It's great. White guy. Saved the day there too. Isn't it amazing? And if we don't save him, we just drop a bomb on him. That works too. And ultimately saved him that way. Taught him a lesson, I guess. Flashing hundreds of thousands of people in a nanosecond. Frank Riley, $23.72 says, thanks for the signed book, Matt. Love it. I've also heard Dan Bongino say multiple times that Rick Wilson has the worst BO. Oh, there's no doubt. The guy, absolutely. He's just the guy that used to get his ass kicked in school. Absolutely no doubt. And Bongino would know. So listen, Black Samurai, I'm down with it. I'm cool. I'm hip. I'm with it. I'm fine with that. I don't care. I've played black characters in video games many times. It doesn't bother me. Why? Well, because I have a lot in common with black people. From the waist down. I've got a lot of black friends. I like the black culture. Love black music. Doesn't matter whether it's Gillespie. It doesn't matter whether it's Armstrong. Doesn't matter whether it's NWA or Tupac. Love them all. Aretha Franklin. Good stuff. I love black people as much as I love every other race. I don't give a shit. I don't look at your color. I don't see it. Why? Because I'm a military guy. Military guys don't care. We don't care. But Assassin's Creed is a game that was very historically accurate. It doesn't matter whether you were in Venice. It doesn't matter whether you were in Egypt, in the Middle East. Whether you were in the United States, in Boston. Doesn't matter whether you were in the open seas in the Caribbean as a pirate. The book has, or the games have always been historically somewhat accurate and loosely based on fiction. And this is no exception. There was a black samurai. No big deal. Nothing wrong with that. You may not know this. And I mean, it's like, it's woke. It's not woke. It's the truth. The woke part comes later. It's based off of a character, a reimagining of Yasuki. Suki was a samurai. He was an African warrior, became a samurai in Japan during the 16th century. And in 1579, he was brought by Jesuit missionaries, those Jews. See, I knew it was about Jews. It always gets to Jews. It's always Jews. See, the Jews did it. The Jews made a black samurai who is gay. Liv, Hayden, are you tired? What's wrong? Do you not feel good? Okay, I love you. Give me a kiss. I love you, baby. Get out of here. I'm sorry you're so tired. Bye-bye. Remind me to tell you about the black gay samurai later. It's a long story. Suki arrived in Japan, caught the attention of a powerful warrior. It was named Oda Nobunaga, I believe. Oba Naga, whatever. Close enough. He was fascinated by his height, his strength, and his dark skin, and then was fired by CBS for saying those things. That's a joke. Little Howard Cosell. Look at those little monkeys run. Howard. Seriously, dude. Even I wouldn't say that shit. Come on, man. What are you doing? Howard Cosell. He's fantastic. Well, Brett, I don't know. I'm thinking that that man can run faster than a speeding bullet. A black bullet. Jim, what do you think? Well, Howard, thank you very much, Jim. Next, we're going to talk about Alka-Seltzer and speedy tablets. But first, let's look at that little monkey run. Did he just say little monkey run? Yes, I did. Oh, for the love of God. Howard Cosell was amazing. Stupid comment. So Ona Bugaisha, it's female samurais. There were a bunch of them. And there were a ton of them through history. And they rode in battle. They played a crucial part. Amazing bow men, women. So female samurai, black samurai is all good. No problem. Historically accurate. Now, Do you want to go ahead and isolate a bunch of white kids who get their panties in a bunch and a knickers in a twist because they have to play a black person or a woman? I don't know. In Dragon Age, I picked a woman character. If I'm going to stare at the backside of a character for like 140 hours, you damn Skippy, I'm going to pick a woman. When I played Elden Ring and beat it on tier 7 and beaten it 7 times, every single boss, with pretty much like 6 classes, I am endgame at Elden Ring. Anybody wants some? Just let you know. I cannot wait for the new one coming out. It's going to be awesome to have a group to do that with. Anyway. You know, Jimmy the Greek, not Alex the Greek. Do you remember Alex the Greek? He said a racial slur. No, I remember Jimmy the Greek. And yes, I remember what Jimmy the Greek said. But I've played all sorts of characters in video games because that's what it is. You're playing a character. Who cares? This, it's a little weird. Because not only did you put a black character in it, and you put a female character in it, which is fine, but people are going to be like, it's woke. It's not, it doesn't make it woke. This makes it woke. You're going to see what this is a prelude to. Listen.
Me by Lord Nobunaga.
Tier 7 is rookie numbers. You've obviously never played the game. What are you playing it on? Please let me know. Let me know. What are you playing it on? Because if you played it more than 7 times and you've advanced the game, then you're what a waste. Why? Why? Because the game doesn't get any harder. It gets easier. It gets harder the lower you are. Try to do it with a broadsword. Start with base gear and go do the game. But 7 just means that you have a lot of time invested. NG plus 12? Fucking NG, who cares? Anything over 7 is a waste of time. You have all your skill set maxed out. You've hit the max cap on 80. Who cares? Nah, NG 12, whatever. On one character. One character. Dude, anytime you want to go ahead and compare characters, I'm ready to go. You know me. You know me, dude. You know how I play. We played Destiny together, didn't we? No, we played Division together. We were pretty good at Division. Come on. We were exploiting a lot of shit on Division. Anyway, sorry, I'm talking to Marky, my buddy. Whatever, here it is.
Been pleased for you to have it.
Am I worthy of such a treasure?
Allow me to look into your eyes and see into your heart.
Oh. You smell like barbecue chicken.
You are more than worthy.
Ooh.
And this moment we have shared will be my treasure to keep.
He looks like a Mongolian ladyboy. It gets worse. Matt, don't show this stuff. I can't stand it. It's gross. It's disgusting. It's against God's code. Whatever. Just watch it. Just watch it. If I've got to play, because I'm going to play it, because the game looks amazing. I mean, it really does. It's just this shit. I had to get through this in Dragon Age too. Yeah, we did MW1, MW2. We also did Left 4 Dead, right, Margie? We did Left 4 Dead together. Division, MW1. I thought we did Destiny too, bro. If we didn't do Destiny together, we should have done Destiny together. Gosh. Yeah, but I remember Modern Warfare 1 and 2. But Division was our game. That was our jam, dude. You and I, as 2 players, would just do shit that we did good stuff together. Our characters are badass. Here it is. This is where this game lost me, unfortunately. Here it is.
I do not think I have ever seen you quite so tongue-tied.
Not yet, at least. I hope you aren't easily chilled.
Dude, it's like a bad porn. I mean, this is like bad porn.
Do you think someone might see us?
Maybe.
I hope. I'm also a voyeur. I like exhibition too. not just hairy bunghole.
Do you care?
Not at all.
They did. Yes, Melanie goes, oh my God, did they make it gay? Yes, they did. This is the woke part. I didn't care about black. I didn't care about it. But why? Why? Listen, it's already phallic enough with giant swords, with a giant sword and a little tiny sword so you can disembowel yourself with seppuku. It's so phallic. A bunch of guys just stabbing themselves over and over and thrusting their metal phallus. Come on. Now? Come on, dude, please. Don't kiss him. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, God. He's a black man. This is so faux pas. No, whatever will they say? Guess that's not jungle fever. It's bamboo fever. Okay, the video game industry, I'm going to be real clear. It was pretty hard not to make money at these games. I mean, all you had to do was slap a title together, have it not crash, no patches on launch, no pay to play, no pay to win. That's all you had to do. And you make a game like Grand Theft Auto, makes a fucking, what, 50 billion? That's all you got to do. Just make a game that everyone likes to play. Do Tony Hawk. And slap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on it, make money. Rock Band, 27 different versions. Great, we'll buy it. Halo. How many fucking Halo games can you have the same weapons and the same thing, killing the same enemies? Still, I'll buy it. What benefit does it? You just isolated your entire audience. Black, woman, and now gay. I mean, that's what, 0.01% of the entire population? Why didn't you go ahead and make them Jewish? And Barry Manilow lovers. I can't stand this stuff. I'm going to be honest with you. The term for being attracted to Asians, I think, is yellow fever. I know, but instead of jungle, it's bamboo forest. So bamboo fever? Come on. I could have said panda fever, yin yang fever, kung pao fever. Oh, you want to talk on my kung pao chicken? Oh, yes, I do. You know, the only problem with screwing a Chinese boy is, do you know? You want to do it again 30 minutes later. So naughty. God, make me sick. So stupid. The fact that you think a black samurai also was a homosexual during that time period is ridiculous. It used to be, man, is that you would get server failure when you broke the what was it called, Marky? The memory, the DNA sequence, the sequence. When you broke the sequence in the game, when you died, the sequence would fail, which basically means that you weren't historically accurate to the past and you made a decision in the game that ultimately would screw it up in Assassin's Creed. Now, everyone's gay. Oh, you win. You win. Achievement unlocked. 1,000 achievements. I know Dragon Age. I played it. I had to sit through that shit. I need to pull a barf. You know, do 10 push-ups. Oh, God, give me... Great game. Dragon Age was fine. I mean, it wasn't a Dragon Age game. It was basically like Final Fantasy without Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm just done with this shit. I'm so done with this. Can like Donald Trump write some executive orders that Ubisoft can't put out another game? So needless to say, this is the world that we live in.
Join WimKen.com, the social media platform built for free speech and true connection. No censorship, no algorithms controlling your feed, just genuine conversations and a commitment to protecting your rights. Sign up today at WimKen.com and take back your voice. Tell them Matt and the Dumb Show sent you.
Got to finish one more. Got to do another commercial. Sorry.
The Dumb Show is built on real conversations, raw, unfiltered, and fearless. Big Tech didn't like that. Facebook pulled our funding, tried to shut us down. But for over a year, you, our incredible viewers, have kept us going. Your support, your donations, your time, it all matters. Most of you spend 10 plus hours a week with us. Compare that to Netflix, maybe 5 hours a month. We believe we're worth that time. And we hope you do too. But listen, we don't want giving to feel like a burden. We want it to feel good. So take a second to ensure you're in a good spot. If you're in a place to give, that will be amazing. If not, just liking and sharing helps more than you know. Visit thedumbshow.com/donate. Whether it's PayPal, Venmo, or Mail, every bit helps to keep us going. Dumb Nation, we appreciate you more than words can say.
1 second, people. I'm trying to redo our goal. Something's happening here. Nobody can see it. I gotta change the color. Let's go to a blue like it used to be. Sorry. You can see it. People were saying they couldn't see it. They're like, I can't see it. I'm fixing it. Let's see. No, that looks stupid. That looks samurai gay. So does that. Come on. Give me a bold font. Can you guys see it okay? It's kind of... Aha. Maybe. Save settings. That's not working. Why? Oh, I know why. Turn that off. Take that off. Save setting. Damn, I'm good. All right, hold on. One last thing. I'll fix this. Here we go. Bam. And save settings. That looks much better. There you go. Okay, there you go. See? Now you guys can see it. No, nobody can complain. All right, next step. 161.45. We are over halfway there. Not going to mention it the rest. I'm just telling you our goal right here, dumbshow.com/donate. You can go do it. We got a lot to cover. I got to keep going. Here is a video. Now, listen, I want to make sure people understand. So when I do something, I say something that's kind of like on the edge. It's not designed to make people go, oh my God, he said fag. or he made fun of black people. Or, oh my God, he made fun of white people. Folks, this is just, I don't care anymore. I'm so done with being PC, and we need people who just can laugh. But sometimes when you're picking on people on the internet, you're being a douche plow. Like, I don't make fun of people's weight. I don't insult them. I don't make fun of their, until you start. If you start and you come at me, I take the gloves off. Everyone knows I don't have a measure of self-restraint when it comes to this. When you insult me, if you insult people I care about, I kind of go off on people. But this kid is Owen Durrells, Oanderle, over on TikTok. And this is all this kid's doing, and people are just being horrible. Watch this.
Very good. Woo.
This is Jason Grosball from Corpus Christi, Texas.
That's awesome. That's one.
Make a bowl/bucket of popcorn. Better name it. Whoops. I even preloaded the videos, folks. I'm sorry.
Good. Woo. That's awesome. That's one. Very cool. Yeah. That's awesome. Wow. Thank you.
10,000 calories for that bucket. Gosh, that fake butter gonna kill you. Good for him. At least he's working. Oh, he's overweight and has long hair? Who gives a shit? You're the dumbass eating that popcorn. You're gonna look just like him. Leave him alone. He probably burns more calories in a day than half the people buying the popcorn. Good for him. Not only, you should make him a corporate trainer and teach everyone how to do that. Why? Because usually those people have no personality. Oh, there's popcorn falling all over the place. Who gives a shit? Clean it up when you're done. You know, they don't do peanut shells over at Texas Roadhouse anymore. Well, because of COVID. No, we don't want to spread COVID. Well, what about the fucking ketchup that's been sitting on the table for 16 months that has everybody's paw prints on it and little Timmy's boogers all over it? And what about that chick with hepatitis who looked like she just got picked up off the street? What about those people? Who cares? Leave them alone. Every single person on this thread is just talking shit about this kid. And this stuff's got to stop. Good for him. Good for him. Make him a manager. Imagine what he'll do. But people got to break everybody down. People try to do it on my show all the time. Oh, you know what this guy said? It used to be, oh, with all tens of your viewers. That was funny. 4 years ago, hilarious. Then it was 2 years ago. Oh, with all hundreds of your viewers. Funny. Now it's all with thousands of your viewers. Now tens of thousands of your viewers. You can never win. I can have 20 million people. You still talk shit. People still talk shit to Dan Bongino before he left. He's deputy director of FBI. The guy's making millions of dollars. One of the top podcasts in the world. They still talk shit. Joe Rogan talks shit. Who cares? Talk all the shit you want. I'm never going to stop. I am going to do this until I'm fucking 97 and gumming my food. Hey, son of a bitch, Hillary Clinton. I don't care. I'm just, ping, ping, ping. I'm impervious. My liberal kung fu, too strong. And I will tell you, this show is the best thing for me because I don't care. People go, oh yeah, well, you're probably unmarried. Link a picture of my wife. Oh yeah, well, your kids don't love you. Well, here's a picture of my kids and their happiness. Yeah, well, you're poor. Well, here's my house. Oh yeah, well, you're fat. Really? Let me show you a picture. Well, you look much different than when you're sitting down. Well, yeah, because the camera's right in my freaking face and it has to be a wide angle, you know, so. You're stupid. Really? That's your witty come. I'm stupid? Okay. Come try me. I'll tell you, the best thing you can do is just not give a shit about what people think of you. Because you can't control it anyway. It's none of your business. The moment you realize that what they think of you is none of your business, you just stop trying to care. There's nothing. People say shit online all the time. And the only people I ban are the ones that are just so ignorant. I'm just like 40 replies. And I'm like, dude, I can't stop because like I'm addicted to idiots. So I'm going to have to ban you so I can just go about my day. You know what I mean? Nah, you'd be more like Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino, probably. That was screwed up what happened with Toronto last night. Don't even get me started. That's all right, dude. I told you. Remember when I told you when we made the trades? I felt that we would be probably 18-2 or 17-2-1. My prediction looks like it's right because now we're 9-1-1. And the Avs are looking good. We should have won that game. We outplayed Toronto. We outplayed him. We just had a goaltender stood on his head and puck wasn't going. So who cares what people think about you? But I am addicted to idiots. I really am. I love them. I collect them. I'm sorry I don't talk shit. I watch you, Matt, because you tell it like it is with the facts, and I'm sorry if the truth hurts them. So be it. Yeah. You stink, Kyle says. Do I? I don't. Really? Occasionally. There's no doubt after I get after a big workout, but leave the kid alone. Now, I am going to defend and retract my statement on Alec Baldwin and his wife. I showed you this video last night. Now, it's not always going to be like this. Okay? It's not going to be celebrity, but sometimes it's okay to have some videos that maybe teach a little bit of humanity and life lessons, right? Here's the video that I showed you last night. I want to show it to you again. And Olivia and I reacted to it, but there's a follow-up.
The Ilaria show.
No. I think we're gonna see. You know, we're gonna see how it feels to have it be out there.
It's gonna be great. You're a winner.
Oh my God! When I'm talking, you're not talking.
Sorry.
No, when I'm talking, you're not talking. This is why. Yes, we'll have to just cut him out of the show. No, I mean, I think this is a really raw show, and it's very real, and we took a lot of chances. And, you know, I think that we'll see where it leads us. We'll see what it feels like to have be out there, and then we'll see, you know, if people like it. That's enough.
All right. So when I watched that, I was like, what a biznatch, right? What a see you next Tuesday. But I got to follow up because it's important to me. And even though it is Alec Baldwin, who I don't like, I hate his politics, and I'm not a big fan of her either. That's marriage. And my wife and I are so honest with each other. Like, if you heard my wife and I, like, we were on best behavior with Amy and Leroy, but like Olivia and I were discussing a little bit in the car on the way home the last night. And we got to ourselves a little bit, and I'm sure Leroy was like, holy crap. And we don't cuss at each other quite anything, but we're just like, yeah, okay. Anyway, so why don't you do me a favor and just like shut up? And but yes, but watch this video, because I will tell you, it's a different video, and you can tell that they love each other. And you know what? I can't knock that at all, because I've been there with my wife where I've just been like, for God's sakes, would you please let me finish? Or she says to me, hey, you know, I'm trying to talk. You've seen us get on this show, and we're real. Now, was it as bad as what she did? I just don't think she cares, and I don't think he cares. Watch this.
Hey, you're a winner.
Oh my God, when I'm talking, you're not talking.
Sorry.
No, when I'm talking, you're not talking. This is why, yes, we'll have to just cut him out of the show. And that is called, what's the word of the day?
Manterrupting.
Manterrupting, which could be a positive, it could be a negative, or it could be a
Correctile dysfunction.
yes, correctile dysfunction. I think that's one of our children trying to get into the room. But you know, the whole point is, because our children are about to come in, the whole point is that we interrupt each other all the time. Or sometimes our kids interrupt us. Okay, I'm coming.
Okay, go get Carmen.
Okay, so now that we cleared all of that up, I cleared it up. Give me a kiss just so they know that I'm not.
Oh, I'm so happy.
And give me a kiss.
Kiss me.
There it is.
Great.
Who cares? I've learned something about Alec Baldwin. I'm an asshole, and I know another asshole, and I don't get along in public, and I don't get along with people either. I totally get it. Like, I totally get it. And honestly, I think, yes, he talks shit about Trump, but when he's with the press, I would want to do that to the press too. Like, I don't know if I'd want to shoot somebody, but I certainly would want to punch the press. Mel Lowe, $51.99, going to be your guest. You don't have to pay me, sister. Get your butt. Just having you here would be enough. Mel, I'm not fucking kidding. You could live here in a minute. You could run sound, run audio. You could be a host on the show. You could ever do whatever you want to do. Don't care. Bring your horses. Anyway, you know what? Good for them. They found happiness, and who cares? Yes, she's young. Yes, he's old. I don't care, because the guy reminds me of me, because that's the way I communicate with my wife, just like that. So you know what? Do I like Alec Baldwin? No. Do I like his politics? No. But you know what? He's a human being, and I don't give a shit. He doesn't care about me. I don't care about him. And people need to just lighten up and relax. That couples get to define their marriage. And as long as he's happy, and as long as he's married and they stay together and don't get a divorce like everyone else in the world, then who are you to talk? You know what I mean? All right. Good enough. Last two topics, folks, and then we're out of here. Doing fairly well on our donations. So we are sitting at 849. We're at 8:49. We have 11 minutes till the show's over. So if you have not had a chance to donate, now is the time. I know a lot of people hold on to the end, but now is the time to do it. Ethan is standing by. He's running donations tonight. Give him a chance, and let's hit that goal. We are $87 away, $86.56 away. Okay, we can do it. All right. So not in public. Yeah. Who cares? And Judy, who cares? Because sometimes it's so natural with my wife. I'll say something in public, and I'm like, "Whoops!" I'll say it on the show, and I'm like, "Oh shit." That came off wrong. You know what I mean? And I'll be like, oh God, I can't believe I did that. I better backpedal. So I do it sometimes too. Cause there's times like with Olivia, I'll be like, would you please shut up? Yeah, but I'm not meaning it that way. And she'll like, will you please F off? And I'm like, oh my God, where's Leroy, Matt? His vagina hurt. He had to Massengale. So, he had that not so fresh feeling. So he couldn't be here tonight. The next two are good. Here we go.
The Dumb Store is veteran-owned with a 5-star diamond rating for service and satisfaction. We offer quality products like coffee, shirts, hoodies, and hats, all made by veterans. Shop with confidence, backed by hundreds of 5-star reviews. Use code DUMB10 to save 10%. Visit thedumbshow.com today. Thank you for your support.
Cheryl Lynn makes a good bunch. She goes, Megan Kelly thought the total opposite today. She said they totally hate each other. I said the same thing last night. I bet you, knowing Megan, Megan. Oh, Billy. I bet if she sees that video, I hope she does, I think she'll retract. Because you could see the love in that video. I'm sorry, you could see, even when he's like, oh, she kissed me. Something I would say. Listen, maybe I'm just feeling fruitful. Maybe I'm just happy. But you know what? If Alec Baldwin can find love, that miserable, cantankerous son of a bitch, then we all can. I think Megan, I don't know. We'll see what Megan does. I like Megan, and she walks things back. I just did. So I just don't agree with Megan now, but she may not have seen that video. But that video was pretty, come on, it was cute. Come on, whatever. All right. Ben Shapiro. All right, here's the thing. People are going to be like, oh, Matt got red-pilled. He's against the Jews. Listen to me. Just because I disagree with Ben Shapiro doesn't mean I'm against the Jews, okay? I disagreed with him when he told us all to get the vaccine. I disagreed with him when he talked about the lockdown and said it was a good thing. I disagree with him when he hated Trump, okay? So it has nothing to do with being Jewish. I just disagree with Ben Shapiro. By the way, his new camera guy, you're doing it right. It seems like more and more people are taking my set design and taking my lighting because I don't understand. Because Crowder and Shapiro both do it, but this is like this is my lighting. Now you've got a $30,000 Sony camera with with red glass, or a Cinema Canon with red glass, and I understand I don't have that. I mean, I've got a $1,500 camera, and I'm making it work, but your lighting guy's doing it right, Ben. Okay, so whoever you hired, but you're wrong here, and I'll tell you why. Listen to this. Now, I'm not red-pilled. I'm not coming after him. Oh, Matt's going to start hating on the Jews like everybody else. That's not what I'm doing. I'm calling out Ben Shapiro. I have a right, damn it. Here it is.
Sort of conspiracy theorizing that's become incredibly popular.
You see what I'm talking about with the lighting? Look at that. He's more reddish color. He's got a solitary light coming on his face like I do, and that's it. His backlight is dark. So it's good. It's good lighting. And he's got a softbox on his back. He's got one coming down here. I don't have that yet. Here's the rest. What's up, man?
I'm gonna take a shower and probably get bed. I'm tired.
Good job, buddy, on the numbers. Love you. Pound it, G. All right, here's the rest.
The right these days. It was popular on the left, and now conspiracy theorizing that's become incredibly popular on the right these days. It was popular on the left, and now it's become increasingly popular on the right. The kind of, let's just ask questions. We'll ask who really killed JFK? Wink, wink, nod, nod. And then you're like, well, do you have any evidence of the thing that you are presupposing? Well, no,
I do. A cranium that literally was blown off of the brain flap and a missing brain, bullets dropping on stretchers, change parade routes, Oswald being a triple agent. Yeah, I've got some stuff, Ben. Listen, you're a smart dude, okay, Ben? But you're starting to get into areas that are not your expertise. Like, I would debate the shit out of Shapiro on this subject, and I would fucking roll him. It wouldn't even be close. I would mop the floor with Ben Shapiro on JFK. There's not many people, I don't think there's many people who could take me on. You guys have heard me talk about it, and no notes, just there's no way. There's no way. So when Ben says JFK conspiracy theory, yes, I agree with him. The nuts on it's the Klan or it's this or it's Martians or aliens, it's the Jews. Okay, I get what he's saying. Yes. But Ben is going after this topic because a lot of people are saying it was Israel. Now, I'm going to disprove this. I already talked about it last night, that anyone who thinks it was Israel are complete morons. But a lot of people are saying it's the Jews. So Ben's taking the upside because you can't say anything bad about the Jews or Israel, or Ben Shapiro gets upset. This is why Candace Owens is gone. This is why he won't debate Nick Fuentes, and he won't debate Stu Peters. I wouldn't either because they're twat waffles. But Ben is upset because everyone's laying the JFK thing at his doorstep and the Jews. And so Ben's going to go and carry water for the Jews, which, you know what? It's fine. I mean, Amy carries water for the Catholics. Great. Who cares? I carry water for veterans. But he's wrong here, and I'll tell you why.
I'm not making any accusations. I just know I don't believe the story that I'm being told. I know not to trust the authorities. Like, well, that's fine, but do you have like any evidence?
Yes.
Like evidence, not just supposition.
Yes.
Well, you're part of it, aren't you?
It's not. No, it's not supposition. That's a See, that's a problem. When you have a dictatorial, an official report by the Warren Commission that are saying this is what happened exactly. 27 volumes stating and laying out this is what happened. And you have evidence to the contrary that is factual and proven and it's exculpatory. Ben, that's not a conspiracy theory, you stupid shit. It's called fact. This isn't like someone saying the Holocaust didn't happen just because they think the Jews are bad people, or that the USS Liberty was sunk because the Jews had a plot to go ahead and get in a war with the United States, or that the Rothschilds or the dancing Jews or anything else that they've made up. That's conspiracy theory. That's theorizing. That's speculative. It's supposition and conjecture. This is fact. I can show you multiple entry wounds on JFK from the autopsy photos that 3 bullets couldn't possibly do because one went over the overpass, one was the one in the throat that hit Connolly, and one was the headshot. So how did he get hit in the back? Why is there another entry wound? Well, that's 4 bullets. Right there, that disproves the entire Warren Commission. Everything about it makes it a conspiracy. That's the way it works. Because that's what we do on this show. Ben, that's what you do on your show. You take one piece of factual evidence and you exploit the person who's wrong. And then you prove why you're right. It just didn't turn at a 90-degree angle because that's not what it did. It had downward degree angles. It had 27 degrees to the left, came back at 29 degrees to the right, a downward angle of 7 degrees. I mean, I can tell you everything the damn thing did. Ben, this is what you do. Remember, facts don't care about your feelings. Ben, I don't fucking care about your feelings. You are breaking the golden rule of what made Ben Shapiro. Facts don't care about your feelings. You're all up in your feelings, homeboy. Do you want a box of Kleenex and some Midol? Get you a box of chocolate from C's Candy? I'm sure we got some kosher ones you can eat. I've been protecting the Jews now for like 3 years or 2 years or a year and a half. Year and a month. Holy shit, I mixed up Ukraine and the Jews. So I don't want to hear it. I get to make fun of the Jews a little bit here. So if you're Jewish, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe Matt's red pilled. No, I'm making fun of people like I make fun of everybody. Sure, we can find some kosher C's Candy for you. We won't get you any salted caramel, okay? But you're all up in your feelings. What you're doing right now is all feelings-based. There's no fact. You're just like, oh, I'm a conspiracy. So I'm going to disprove you with one comment after this, but let's listen to the rest of your spiel.
Yes, you're part of it. The reason that you're so defensive about all this is, I don't care who killed JFK. I mean, I do because it's really interesting. But I noticed that the calendar says 2025 and he was killed in 1963. And so my opinion about who killed JFK has about as much relevance as who killed William McKinley, which is, or James Garfield, which is to say not an enormous amount.
Sure. Fair enough. Great. So your argument, Ben, just want to make sure I understand what you're saying, is 60 years ago, a piece of historical relevance that shaped and changed American history forever as one of our politically assigned leaders was assassinated and altered the course of pretty much everything from the media to the government to the bureaucracy to the overall greed in our country. Fair enough. We know it was a cataclysmic event when they took Kennedy. So by your logic, then you should shut the fuck up about the Holocaust. What relevance does that play? I wasn't involved. My opinion on it doesn't matter, neither does yours, right? Because it's in the past? Or is it really that we should constantly challenge narratives and challenge and learn about history so we can discover with innovation, technology, new thought, practical application of deductive reasoning, having new sets of eyes on things? This is why we go into cold cases. This is why we don't abandon innovation, something that wasn't readily available 80 years ago, maybe today. There was a point where conceptualizing the battery was absolutely impossible. There was a time that we thought the smallest matter on Earth was a grain of sand. And then we invented the microscope and then realized that even that had its limitations. So my whole point, Ben, is if facts don't care about your feelings, then why do you only present the point of feelings? That there's some sort of emotional... Bobby Richardson, 103.98. Keep doing you. Keep doing you. Love y'all for the keyboard warriors in their parents' basements. Lots of laughs. Thank you, Bobby. But folks, that's what this is all about, right? This is why we do what we do. Everything we do. If everything's in the past, then nothing is prologue. If we don't learn from the past, then it won't repeat itself, right? Well, that's wrong. We know that from history, that history does repeat itself. That's why it's so very important to stay on top of it. That's why it's so important to reflect on the past and bring it to the forefront. So I disagree vehemently with Ben Shapiro. Very, very much. And I like Ben a lot. And I think he's getting a rough ride because this guy really kind of created this, him and Crowder. Yeah, and even little Nick Fuentes and his Nazi-loving ass. People like Joe Rogan. People like Bill Maher. Bill Maher started everything. All this shit you see. Everything that we do, what I do, it's Bill Maher. So someone said, hey, if you went I would love to see you and Bill Maher debate. I wouldn't debate Bill Maher. No desire. With Bill Maher, I would have an amazing conversation with him. I'm telling you. I would have an amazing conversation because I absolutely love Bill Maher. Don't like his opinions a lot. I don't like his beliefs a lot, but I certainly love him. 1 second. So that's, hold on a second. Liv, if she just gave us $100 and something, why are we only at 317? Can you figure it out? Who just put that in? Can you go find out what's going on? Because it's wrong. I don't know what happened, but it's wrong. And I want to make sure the dummies get it right. It should be a lot more than that. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to... Let me figure this out. My goal thing's not working. There it is. And reload widget. No, it's not working. That's weird. Just let me know what it's supposed to be, babe. Anyway, here's one from Crowder. Did you recognize Ben Shapiro's lighting? It looks a lot like, just saying. Here is Crowder, who I got to give it. The only guy who hasn't tried to steal my set yet. But honestly, you know what? I think I stole Crowder's set. I did. That's the first time I've looked at it since I started. I got the flag behind me. I've got the firearm right next to me, just like he does. American flag. I've got my show sign right there. It's different enough. It's different enough. I wonder why, because it was just showing 2 something, and she gave 100. It should have been more than that. Because we were only, maybe we were. Maybe that's what it is. Is that both of hers from tonight? Yeah. Earlier tonight? Okay, so we're good? Okay. Yeah, and Okay. Well, anyway, here's Crowder. Folks, last minutes to do this, and then we're done. So if you haven't had a chance to do a donation, do it now because we are wrapping it up. I like to think it was a very good show. If you thought it was a good show, do me a favor. Help donate to the show. Keep it on. Here's Crowder's point, and a little bit late, Crowder. Just saying, I did this last night, but he did this today, and I got to give him props for it. I like him, and I always have. I don't watch him enough, but I just don't have time. But I've always liked him, and I like his Walther. It's good. Yours looks much better. Yeah, but I stole his set. I did. I remember. I saw his flag, and I said, "Oh, I want to put that on." I just took like 2 pieces, and I never thought about putting my firearm next to me. That's absolutely 100%. 100%. My new. Here's my SIG, TAC Ops, 100% now, complete. It's sexy. Shoots like glass. I got to get my. I'm getting a new barrel. It's got a modifier on it. It's supposed to drop it from 7% down on its drop rate. 11%. It's supposed to be very, very good, and that'll just extend to the end of the TLR7. But it's sexy. Is that not sexy? Look at that thing. Isn't that gorgeous? I love SIG. Oh God, sexy weapon. Anyway, so if you haven't had a chance to donate, please do. Here's Crowder, and another one who had a conflict with his wife, and I'm like, people just, you don't know what they're going through. He's a good dude. Here is his point. This is what we talked about last night. You like your optic on that, Matt? Oh yeah, the Holosun's fucking incredible. I love it because it's a single dot. I don't like those fake. I have that on one of my ACOGs. No. Yeah, I love the Holosun. Holosun's great. I probably put 500 rounds through it, and it's beautiful, and it's on target, and it comes up so nice. Mike was saying that too, and it fits my hands beautifully because I got the XL extender on. So it does beautifully on the double stack. I mean, it's beautiful. And what's great is that this little flap right here, it comes in further than most, so there's no pinch. It's beautiful, and it comes up perfectly. And when I've got the optics on, I mean, it's bam every time, bam, bam, bam. Doesn't matter where I'm at. And the light, I mean, the ability, I mean, it's so simple. It's right there, and it's on my slide going to my trigger. So it's cakewalk. It's beautiful. 17 rounds too. It's gorgeous. Very happy with it. I mean, the rig's it's a little pricey, but I like the optics. And I was going to go with the SIG version, but I didn't like the reticle on the SIG version. It was didn't look good. I just like the single dot, green or red, preferably green because it shows up better in the daytime. But I'm not gonna use that anyway. And what's great is that if I just want to go right through the glass, I can. I mean, that's what I love about it. I can go right through the glass. Sorry, my light turned on. I can go right through the glass with no problem. But it's beautiful. Comes up beautifully. And I know you wanted me to get the Legion, I think it was. But the only reason I'm going to get the modified barrel, I don't like super G.I. Joe operator weapons. I like standard base models, and I like to modify myself. So I'm going to get the I don't remember the name of the barrel, but it's got two down. It's just basically got 2 die cuts going down at like 7 or 8 degrees. It's supposed to do 11% on the recoil, and it's supposed to just put it right back into place. It's supposed to be beautiful. Anyway, all right, finish it up here. Here's Crowder, and then we're gonna go. Thanks, everybody. Sorry, gun talk. I apologize.
Here's another claim.
We talked about this last night, about how everyone said the Jews are in the document, and I told you that there were like 16 other countries that were redacted, and there were actually more mentions to Israel in this drop than all the other drops combined. So I but of course everyone's like, it's the Jews that did it. Well, Crowder, God love him, he decided to get a little factual, and here he is. I'm going to let him talk for me because I did this last night.
Another claim. Bombshell. The CIA exclusively requested the elimination of any and all mentions of Israel. Okay. That would be a bombshell. But the truth is that there have been plenty of redactions surrounding other countries. And by the way, there were more redactions as it relates to Israel in previous documents than here. And you see Israel mentioned. Are there some? Sure. But the same can be said for the USSR, for Cuba, for Mexico.
England,
In
France,
some instances,
Poland.
they're redacted, and in some, they are not.
That's correct.
Now, can you say there's something there as far as a redaction?
You could.
Sure you can.
You'd be wrong.
Can you make the claim that the redactions only apply to Israel? And there's, well, we know it's not true because you're literally listing where Israel's mentioned.
That's correct. That's correct. The fact that you know it's Israel shows you that it wasn't redacted, you stupid sons of bitch. Listen, this is why groypers fail miserably on my show, and I would debate Nick Fuentes any day of the week. And it's not because I would beat him. It's just I wouldn't let him win like he wins. Because he says stuff that are laced in truth, but people don't know how to ask the question to unravel what he's saying. My fight's not with Nick Fuentes. I don't care about Nick Fuentes. My fight's with people who are dishonest and profit off of it. And honestly, I love that Crowder's doing that. And I like that Ben Shapiro's doing it in his own way because he's defending Israel and the Jews. Good. He should. He's Jewish. Just like I'm going to protect the United States. But the difference is Crowder is taking it apart with facts and Ben Shapiro is taking it apart with feelings. And I just thought you would like to see that dichotomy. And the lines of delineation and the yin and yang there, that they've almost swapped roles. I think Ben has been extremely emotional lately. And I think Candace Owens is extremely emotional lately. And if you're going to say that somebody like Crowder is going to lay out the facts and prosecute the case, it's something to behold because that's not Crowder's MO. Crowder's MO, even though he's very good at debating and this stuff, usually on his show, it's all about cracking dick jokes. And it's, although he lays out the case, it's usually not in the way that Ben would. So I'm very proud of Crowder. And Ben, get out of your feelings, buddy. Folks, thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. That's it for us tonight. I am happy to say we hit goal. We hit goal last night. And we're scraping by. That's okay. It's kind of tight right now. People are worried about income tax. I think after income tax, things will get a little easier. And we're okay. We're making it through. We appreciate you. 236,883. We are going to hit 250,000, I believe, by June. I think by the half of the year. We very well could add 100,000 people. We're already at 36, almost 37,000, and it is only March 20th. That's pretty damn good. Folks, I want to say thank you so much for everything you do for us. You guys mean the world. If you have not stopped by, you can get a Don't Unfriend Me hat, some shirts, some coffee, books, whatever you want over at The Dumb Show. We are really adding a lot to the site. If you haven't been over there, please go take a look. All the female shirts, if there's one you want, you're like, it's sold out. It's not sold out. They discontinued the shirt model. So if you see it, just send me a quick message. Lower right of the Don't Unfriend Me show site, there's a little speech bubble. Click it. Send me a message. And I will get it added Mueki Tick for you. If you don't know what that is, go look up Vietnamese. Folks, thanks so much for the wonderful night. I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow night, it is myself. It is Amy Knott. It is myself, and it's Olivia. Barry Morgenstein will be here on Friday next week, which we're really excited about. I want to get Damani back and stuff. And then we are trying to work and schedule our wonderful show that Chuck has agreed to match donations for one night and one night only up to $10,000. So we're planning that. That should be announced here shortly, and we'll start promoting it. Thanks, everybody, for a great night. I had a good time talking to you. Thanks for laughing with me, and I hope you learned something. Good night.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.